Yeah. see või kui soovite, saate ka sellega saab jalutada slaide. Jah, siit, jah. Sellepärast siit on mugavam, aga jah. Hea mikrofoniga selles mõttes siis ei ole seda All right, hello and welcome back. Tere päevast, if you remember from the lesson from yesterday, a good day in Estonian. I hope you are practicing from the last page of the student ABC. Today we have another day full of presentations. It will be a shorter day, and which will end with a campus game and closing event with a picnic. However, some first things first, if you haven't registered yesterday or today, there's a possibility to do it so at the table over there. The letters of arrivals that have been sent to Kerti, she will be also distributing them. She already gave a lot of them today in the morning. Some of those that were not there, the names were written down and you'll get them later. Those who haven't sent those arrival letters, you can do so today, and Kerti will sign them and stamp them, and you can get them from the Mobility Center office. You probably saw some of those papers at the chairs that when you arrived. Those are the residence papers that the EU students should sign to register their residence in Tallinn. So please do so if that applies to you. All right, these are some of the few things. As you can see in the program, today we'll talk about the Moodle study system first, then a few more presentations about sports, a library, counseling center, and then we'll tell you also what the campus game is about. Again, we'll be using the Slido today, and you can ask the questions after every presentation. So we've seen yesterday that some questions arrived during the presentation or before the presentation, so I recommend to have a look at the presentation, and maybe all the questions will be answered during this speech. We still have the Instagram competition going on. We already received some submissions yesterday, and we still have time until the end of the program, so you can still submit your pictures, and the prizes will be distributed during the picnic. Okay, and now I would like to invite here Raido Puust, who will tell you about Moodle study system. Please.
Hello, and thank you for the introduction. Yes, I'm here to give a general introduction about one of our study system, which is called Moodle. And I do hope that quite many already have used Moodle, because it is widely used in many countries and in many universities. I also hope that you can recall yesterday's presentations in where you heard about another important study system, which is called Study Information System, in where everything starts, meaning that you first have to register or select your courses to declare those, and then actually you can move to Moodle and find study materials. So my presentation is not about Study Information System, it's about Moodle. And from this slide you actually see those landing pages before you actually can log in. I talk about, or at least a little about Uni Id, which is a common identification system in our university, before you can actually start using those platforms, yes? And also the difference is about study information system and Moodle at the very end. Okay, as I said, actually Moodle is well-known study information system. It can be used for blended learning, distance education, and as such. And of course, it is mainly or quite often used to share study materials. In our university, we obviously have our own Moodle system, which is used by our students and staff members. And it's updated yearly basis, so you get new functionalities also for during your studies. So let's start from the beginning in terms of logging into the system. As you see, the web page, which is quite easily, you can easily remember, is moodle.taltec.ii. And once you enter this web address, you can select from the right-hand corner language, English probably, and then you can select Taltec Uni Id as a most common identification system to be able to log in. You also see help button. If you need some help, additional information, then you can also check some guidelines from there. Now, what is Taltec Uni Id? I believe that it has been already told for you, so I quickly go over. You should have it by now. And remember that you can also change Uni Id's password, right-hand corner, pass.ttu.ee. This Uni ID is used not only for Moodle, but also for study information system, also for your email account, also for Microsoft Teams, library services, and as such. And you can find in English also more information about this confluence.ttu.ee webpage. So once you have your Uni ID, you are good to go, and you can log into the moodle.taltec.ee. Obviously, once you log in, this landing page or your own desktop is quite empty, because in our university, once you actually select courses in study information system, you are not automatically registered to Moodle. So you have to do it kind of manually. You have to register to each one of those courses you have selected in Moodle as well. And to do that, you need to know course address and also enrollment key. But before I move on to that, you can see the general web page. In the middle area, you will see your registered courses. On the left-hand side, you have a general menu bar, and you can check also your profile data from the right-hand corner, change, add information about yourself, and courses can be selected in the future from this menu or from the central part. Now, a little bit background. We use Moodle as a main study information system in terms of sharing study materials and also giving assignments and as such. And all compulsory subjects should have Moodle course page. Each course has its own Moodle course page. And as I said, it starts by creating your study plan, and then remember also that particular course lecturer is basically responsible to share Moodle course link. You can also search the course by name from Moodle, and also lecturer is responsible to give you an enrollment key. This enrollment key is not personal, but quite often this enrollment key can be group-based. So don't worry, you can also quite often share this enrollment key if you belong to the same group, but pay attention to the first lecture, what lecturer will say, but the enrollment key should be used to be able to register to the course. And how may it look like? For example, in the middle part, you can see that each course can be accessed with a quick link. So different courses to have the last part of ID simply different. And you can search those courses from Moodle, but also sometimes study information system also have those direct links. In both cases, it should be quite easy to find the course you need to register, because courses do have IDs and names, and those are searchable. Sometimes you can see a course also without enrollment key. Let's go through those steps as well. In here you see an image, you have, let's say, search a course, and you see that the course is kind of locked, yes? You can't see the content of it because you need to first register. For that, you enter this enrollment key. And only you need to pay attention to that sometimes if you see multiple boxes, it basically means that you have to select the correct group, yes? And you input that enrollment key based on your group. But sometimes you only see only one box, which basically means that all students are entering to the course in the same group. And that's the reason why enrollment key is kind of fixed for everybody. And again, if you can't access the course, please contact your teacher. Now, sometimes, as I said, you may access the course directly, meaning that it's available in Quest view. Yeah? But you have to remember that even if you see the course in Quest view, so that you may think that you have automatically registered, no, it's not going to be like that. You always have to manually kind of register. But you may see the content, but you can't do anything there. For example, to upload your homework or do some assignments, you need to register, and in that case you can find this enrollment option from the top right corner. Yeah? Enroll me in this course, and again, then you input your enrollment key. So two different ways how you may see this enrollment option. Once you have registered to the course, then you will see the full content of the course. Well, of course, it depends on the lecturer, how he has developed it, because the look and feel in different courses may be different, but I hope that it's not trouble for you to get used to it. Simply, in some cases, some courses may have those scrolling behavior, like weekly basis, topic basis, and in some cases you may see that those topics or modules may be hidden away, and if you click on some particular image, let's say, you can see that module as a content. Now, some key information about Moodle. It is used as a supportive study system, yes. It really depends on lecturer and lectures, how you should use Moodle and how you should act in live lessons. Is it Teams-based? Is it in the lecture room? You have to be careful because different subjects, courses do have different ways how you should act in Moodle and how you should act in lecture rooms. So you have to pay attention to what you have to do in Moodle, for example, quizzes, and sometimes those quizzes may have a deadline, and if you miss it, you can't access it. So take some time to understand the workflow in some particular course. And of course, Moodle is here to support your learning success, so please use it as much as possible. And it will hold different types of study materials. Again, it depends on course, lecture. Is it videos? Is it about text materials? Also, you can access quizzes. Sometimes those quizzes are preparation works before exam. Sometimes those quizzes are module-based that you have to pass after each module, one quiz or multiple quizzes. And you also get, for example, feedback after you end this quiz. Sometimes you can take it multiple times, sometimes you can do it only once. So again, you can see from the introductions in some particular courses. You can also quite often use Moodle to upload your homework and get feedback directly from Moodle. So everything in terms of one particular course will be accessed from one location. So this is a kind of also key purpose of the Moodle. So that feedback, your assignments, your different activities are visible from there. You also have course-based gradebook. Before any grades will be uploaded or updated in this general study information system, you may kind of predict or see your grading also from the Moodle. Again, it depends how the course layout has been done by the lecturer. For example, how many different assignments you need to pass in Moodle and how many different assignments or exams in the lecture room. And by combining those activities, you can predict your final grading. So each course to have its own gradebook, and it can be accessed from the left-hand menu, Grades. Also, in Moodle you may see that lecturer will ask a feedback. I believe that you also know that feedback is asked through study information system after the end of the semester, but those feedback forms are different and used differently. So please give a feedback even if it's voluntary, especially in Moodle, because it is mainly used by teachers to kind of develop the course experience further. So it's valuable. But this feedback form may be also used to kind of evaluate self-assessment. So it's for you, for yourself, how you feel, how you kind of develop in some particular course. So let's kind of combine Moodle features from both sides, from student and teacher perspectives. So obviously, it is used to share, access study materials, also to create or carry out self-assessment, initiate and amplify the communication. So sometimes Moodle is used also to kind of activate you in terms of you have to post regularly in forums or give your perspectives, views. So it can be used also for communication in between those lectures. Also, you can present or accept homework, carry out ongoing assessment of learners, which is mainly from the teacher perspective, and also collect, share ongoing feedback. Learning analytics also can be carried out to understand how different study groups act in some lecture. And finally, one slide about study information system, which can be accessed through this link. Again, you have to use your Uni ID to get in, but as I said before, you start from this system. In here you actually register or pick your courses. Yes, you can of course hang around in Moodle and see if some courses are kind of freely available or for Quest users, yeah? Before you decide which courses you may want to have, You can hang around in Moodle, see course content, and then maybe you decide your study plan. But most importantly, once you have finished your course in Moodle, then this grade will be carried over to this study information system. So in here, this grade is official. And also, as I mentioned also in the beginning, that sometimes if you search some courses from study information system, down below you have a section called course homepages, and sometimes those Moodle direct links are also shown here. So you don't have to search that in Moodle. Once again, you can use just a Moodle course ID or the description to find it easily also from Moodle. All right, that's all for now, and I hope that you have questions.
Okay, thank you very much. We can take now some questions, if there are any, in Slido. But I guess you also had a few questions. Maybe we can start with those common, frequently asked questions.
Yes, those are common ones, but I tried to explain already it during my speech. For example, enrollment key, yes, it's not personal. It's usually group-based or even lecture-based, yes, or course page. So no worries, and quite often you can share it. And in terms of if there are multiple groups, again, you have to ask from your fellow student or from the teacher directly if you are in trouble, which group you belong. Quite often this is explained in the first lecture. Is it in lecture room or is it in MS Teams or whatever online system? It's wise to at least attend the first lecture.
Indeed. All right, thank you very much. I think this is it for now. Thanks. And next, we will speak about Taltec Sport, about a sports center of Taltec. And I would like to invite here Lilian Valge, who will tell us more about Taltec Sport. And first we will watch a video.
TalTechi spordiklubi ei ole lihtsalt üks spordiklubi. See on koht, kus tipptasem TalTechi spordiklubi ei ole lihtsalt üks spordiklubi. See on koht, kus tipptasemel kõrghariduse kõrval on aastakümneid südames hoitud ka sporti. Meie sportlased on eeskujuks mitte ainult tänastele, vaid ka homsetele põlvedele. Näitame, milline on ennast ületav pühenduvus, kõrge enesedistsipliin ja ühtekuuluvustunne. Kuidas anda endast kõike, et võita, kuid samas olla valmis ka rasketeks kaotusteks, millest parimaks saamise nimel õppida.
Kallid Tehnikaülikooli fännid, kui me langeme, siis langeme koos, kui tõuseme, siis tõuskem kõik koos. Näeme saalis.
All right, hey students. Unfortunately, the video was in Estonian, but don't worry, I will talk everything into English as well. So welcome to TalTech. My name is Lilian. I'm from the TalTech Sports Club. And today I'm going to tell you about the coolest course in university as well as another sports opportunities that you have during your studies here. All right, to begin with, we offer 6 different kinds of sports. These include volleyball, basketball, table tennis, as you saw in the video, as well as gym, badminton, and group trainings. And we also have lots of different group trainings. So, for example, we have the body and mind trainings, then the strength trainings, endurance trainings, and circuit trainings. So altogether, 6 different kinds of sports, and I hope that every one of you will find his or her favorite what to do during your studies. All right, so we have a sports complex. It's around 400 meters from the main building, so just 5 minutes walk to get there. Across the road from the main building into the woods. And we are open from Monday to Friday from 8 to 10, and on the weekends from 9 to 9. All right, and as you saw in the video as well, we actually have 4 I would say teams that represent our university in basketball or volleyball, so both men and women teams. As a student, you actually have 2 different options how to train with us. So at first, we have the sports course that we call the Basics of Physical Movement. You can take it as any other course, so you just gotta add it to your study plan. It's gonna give you 3 credits if you pass it, all right? And according to the course, you can come and train in the sports club from Monday to Friday in the first half of the day, but I will tell you about the course in more detail in a couple of seconds. Okay, so if you're not interested maybe to get the credits, but you just want to train on your own, then the other option is that you purchase the annual card, which is 35 euros for our students. So really cheap, basically 3 euros per month, but this is the special offer for our students. So it's a way to train on your own, mostly, and visit the sports club. But the benefit, as to say, for the annual card in front of the course is that you can also come and train on the evenings and on the weekends in the gym as well. But at first, I would like you to rather take the course because it's much more fun, yeah? Okay, so if you decide that, okay, cool, I want to train with other students. So, and when I say other students, I really mean that there are students from various of courses, so you'll get lots of new friends. I think it's the biggest benefit of our course. If you want to take the course, then add it to your study plan, look it up in the study information system, and choose it. And to pass it, to get the credits, you need to fulfill 3 requirements. So the first and most important part for us is that you train on a regular basis, which means that when the semester is 16 weeks long, then you need to attend at least 24 times in different trainings. So it's approximately 2 times in a week, but again, the best part of our course is that if you want to first, for example, settle in for a couple of weeks, then you don't have to come straight from next week. So for example, if it takes time for you to get ready with, or to get to know university and everything at first, then just join us, for example, somewhere in February. So it's up to you how many times in a week you attend the trainings, as long as you have 24 times by the end of the semester. Okay, and the second requirement is, as we call it, individual work. It means that you have to, do 3 events or participate in 3 events. The first option is that you will attend the same championship league games as you saw in the video, either so women or men basketball or women or men volleyball. So the home games that will happen at our sports club, you will attend the games as a public, write a little notes to yourself, and later write a little feedback about the games. But don't worry, if you're not a true fan of basketball or volleyball, then you have other options. So the first one is that you participate in any other sports event. For example, we have a dodgeball tournament or volleyball tournament. In the May, we really hope to do the Taltec run, but As you know, the situation is pretty unstable, as to say, so we will know, I don't know how many days or weeks before we can either do the event or not. So it depends what the government and regulations will be as well. But we definitely have the championship games, so you can come and observe these, attend the events, or if you for example, don't want to be the runner in some event, then you can be the volunteer. So just come and help us to make the events even better. And again, write a little feedback, what you did, what you saw, how was the event, and later you have to just submit the individual work to Moodle. Really easy, not a long essay or something, just in your own words, a little feedback about 3 events. All right, and the final requirement is the Moodle test. Again, nothing easy, don't worry, you don't have to go to the library and read about anatomy or physiology or anything. You just have to know basic things in sports. So it's the multiple choice test. There's going to be 10 questions and you have 3 attempts. Okay? And the most important part that I would like to point out is that in Estonia, overall, only the vaccinated persons or the ones who have lately had COVID, so they have the proof of recovery certificate, only those persons can take the course or go to the sports clubs all over in Estonia. All right? Okay, when you think that, okay, I'm gonna take the course, then when you look it up in those, it's gonna pop you 4 different kind of coaches. Don't worry, it's up to you which one you choose, but we have this, divided the sports according to the coaches. So again, example, if you mostly like to play volleyball with other students, then take Chris. And if you most likely attend group trainings, then take me. But overall, the course is same for everyone. The little difference is only in the Moodle test. Okay? And of course, group trainings are always guided, so don't worry, the coach will tell you everything, what to do. But the other sports will be both guided and individual. So we have 4 classes in a day, 4 to 5, I will tell you in a sec. But for example, volleyball classes, 2 of them in a day will be individual, which means that you can still come and play. Some of the students are actually coming on the individual time, so you can just play on your own. But if there are guided lessons, then the coach will give you drills, show you the warm-up, and make you a little bit more like you can still play and everything, but it will be like guided class, so the coach will tell you what to do mostly. Yeah? All right. And you can, of course, go to all classes. So one day go to the gym, another day go to the basketball. Then next week try out group trainings. All trainings will be counted, so just try all of them out if you want to. All right, and a little bit about the course more. So next week, starting from Monday, we have the introductory week. So if you're not sure that whether you would like to attend the PE classes, as to say, then just come on site, either at 10 or 12 o'clock, so a little bit earlier, so you have time to switch the clothes and stuff. But come to these trainings. Next week, you will see what we are offering, how the sports club looks like. So you can just come. You don't need to have the declaration yet or anything. You can just come and try it out. But from the 31st of January, we're going to have the full timetable until the end of the course, so somewhere between May. Yeah. Then we're going to have classes 4 times in a day, as I mentioned. So in every 2 hours, as basically classes in university. So the first training starts 8, 10, 12, and 2 o'clock, and 3 times in a week we have the circuit training at 3 o'clock as well. So if you take the course, then you have to follow the timetable and come to the sports club to the course trainings. Okay, so it's totally fine, for example, if you play volleyball for 1 hour and later table tennis a little bit more if you want. Or just play volleyball and then leave. It's up to you, okay? But Usually at the end of the semester we are also adding the one contact hour a week, as to say, so some of the students might not be able to get their attendances or they just want to still and train with us. So in the end of May from 16 to 20 you have the opportunity to come again at 10 or 12 o'clock to the all sports trainings, whichever you want to, yeah? So if you decide that, okay, the course sounds good and you take it, then definitely first thing go to Moodle and enroll yourself to the course, because the detailed guides and everything is up there, yeah? Read through the guides about the individual work, about whatever guides there are, okay? So just get acquainted with the course in detail, and if you still have any other questions, then you can ask the coaches, write an email to me, or let's see, okay? But to get into the sports club, in addition to the COVID certificate, you also need a card, okay? Because we have the gates, and through the gates you only get in through the, with the card. So that means you either have to have the I6 student cards. So some of our students have their own university's I6, and some of them actually work at our gates, but some of them don't. So if possible, then you could do the IC card in the student union, which is like 50 meters from the assembly hall. And if you can, then apply for it even today or in the beginning of next week, because it's going to take a couple of days to arrive. It's totally free. But the benefit of ISIC is also that you're going to get a lot of discounts in different restaurants or in public transport. So it proves that you're a student here, and it's not only for our course, it's useful outside the, I'll say, in other social life as well. Yeah. But if you don't want to apply for the IC card, then in our sports club we can give you a white card instead, as we call it, and we're going to ask at first 10 euros for it, but don't worry, you will get it back once you bring back the card to us after you don't need it anymore. It's just as a deposit. Okay, and the card is needed to get in, as I said. And also, if you take the course, you need the card for validating your attendance. Okay, so every time you have to swipe the card 3 times if you come to the training according to the course times. That means first one is at the gates, so you swipe the card, you will get in. Then the next one is inside the training room, which means that, for example, if you play basketball, you swipe the card on a basketball court. If you go to the gym, then inside the gym. If to the group trainings, then inside the group trainings room, and so on. And later when you leave, on the gates is the third validation. If you have done all 3, then you will get the training attendance. And one more thing, to get the attendance, we want students to be in the building at least 16 minutes. So we don't want that that the student comes, swipes the cards, and then leaves. So we need you to actually train as well, not just come there and swipe the attendance. So that's why we have put the 60-minute minimum limit, as to say. And our course is exactly the same as other courses in the university, so they start at certain times, end at certain times, and you will also get into the sports club at attendance at certain times. So 30 minutes before the start of the training and latest 10 minutes after the end of the training. So that means you have 40-minute gap when you can come, and if you come to the group trainings, then definitely arrive on time, so don't be late. But other trainings, it's okay if you are late a little bit, okay? And one more thing, if you want to come, then you need €2 coin for the locker room. So we just right now have this system that you need to enter the coin, then you can lock your things, and later when you unlock it, then you get it back, okay? And a little bit about this other option as well. So if you don't want the credits and you mostly want to train on your own, then there's the annual card for 35 euros. Again, 35 euros is when you have the IC card. When you don't have it, then you gotta get the white entrance card from us. And in total, at first you pay 45, 10 of it you will get back after the end of the training period, or if you return the card to us. And with the annual card, you can also go to the course trainings, as I mentioned before. So one day come and play volleyball with students, another day go to the gym in the evening. So the benefit is that you with the annual card, you can also use the gym in the evenings and on the weekends. All right? And to sum it up, I think you have loads of questions, at least I hope, but before you, when you have time, please go to the taltec.ee, put basics of physical movement into search, and then you will find all the information needed. And if you still have questions, then you can send me an email or ask them right now, sport@taltec.ee. So if you take the course, then definitely get acquainted with the guides in Moodle as well. And we also have Facebook and Instagram pages as others. So on the Facebook page, we are letting you know about the maintenance work or some events or anything, some just ongoing information. And I think that's it. So I hope to see you all in the sports club. Keep yourself fit during your studies as well. And if you have any questions, then I'm going to start answering.
Yeah, thank you very much. Slide is back. We had a little issue before, after the first presentation, with loading the questions here, but it's back now. We have a few questions for you. First, is there any amateur football or futsal clubs in Tallinn that were?
Yes, thanks for the questions. I know lots of students actually want to play football or go to swimming, but unfortunately at the moment we don't have the football court nor swimming pools.
Can I attend more than 24 trainings per semester? What is the maximum number of trainings?
24 is the minimum, so you can either come 60 times if you want, come even every day if you're fit enough. So it's up to you, but at least 24 times.
Are the trainings often full, or is easy to get registered and get a spot in those trainings?
Can you ask it?
Is it hard to get the spot in trainings? How full they are?
No, actually, we don't have the limit, and you don't need to pre-register into any classes. To be honest, yeah, sometimes the volleyball courts are really pretty occupied, but don't worry, if needed, we're gonna put an extra net and use the extra court. But overall, we are not sending students away, so if they come to the class, then they definitely can come and train.
What's the difference between basics of physical movements 1 and 2?
There is actually no difference. You can take the course twice during your studying. So if you were here, for example, 1 year or even 3 years, then you can take it once in the autumn semester and once in the spring semester. So twice during your studies. But the content is actually the same.
Is there any specific schedule to follow for just attending the gym? Or do we have to pre-book or pre-register to attend the gym?
Gym classes are individual, but the coaches are always there. So, but still, gym is same with other sports. It's gonna start either at 8, 10, 12, or 2 o'clock, and you can be there up to 90 minutes. So you still have to follow the timetable to attend the gym as well, even though you're gonna train basically mostly on your own.
And as for individual visits, it's possible to visit any time when it's open, the gym, right? Or you don't need to pre-book it as such if you have a card?
No pre-booking. So if you, for example, if you take the course, then you have to come according to the course times to the gym as well. And if you have the annual card, then in the first half of the day, from Monday to Friday, again, you have to follow the course times, but starting from 4 o'clock during the work days, and on the weekends, you can come to the gym whenever you want.
Are the trainings in English?
Yeah, don't worry. We have most of the classes are actually in English or mixed, so in English and Estonian both, but mostly we are talking in English because we have lots of foreign students in our sports club.
About the 60-minute rule, one more question. Do I have to train for at least 60 minutes or be in the building for 60 minutes?
So I really hope that you will train for 60 minutes, but actually the first, between the first and last validation, so when you enter and when you leave, it's this time slot when you have to be there for 60 minutes. So if you already also wash yourself, get ready, then actually it takes around 10-15 minutes, and if you train 45 minutes, then it's also okay.
Are there lessons of yoga, Pilates, or something
Yeah,
similar?
we have Vinyasa yoga, then we have Pilates, and also yoga mobility.
Any dance classes also?
Right now, unfortunately not, but we are thinking that if students want another sports, then we are every semester asking their opinion and feedback. So if lots of students want dance classes, then why not we can bring them in.
Is it possible to join the cheer team? Probably mean cheerleaders.
Cheerleaders.
Yeah.
I think they have the open week or had the open week this week. So it's the most easiest way is just contact the cheerleader organization. I know they take new team members in the beginning of autumn semester, and I think in the beginning of spring semester as well, but I'm not 100% sure.
I would recommend you to follow them, for example, on Instagram or Facebook, and they post usually when they have the application period and when you can come for trials every semester. Where can we purchase the annual card? Maybe we can repeat the annual card information.
Yes, you can purchase both, like you can take the white card, purchase the annual card, and ask the questions from the second floor of sports club in my office from me, or the another option is just turn to the administration desk and they will help you out.
Can we take the credits and also take the card to train on weekends?
Yes. So just when you take both, then make sure that as the attendances, when you swipe the card, are connected with the timetable, then when you come, for example, to the gym on Saturday, then it's not taken into account into these 24 attendances, but like to get the attendances according to the course, then you have to follow the course times, but if you train on your own on the weekends, for example, then these times are not taken into account to the course attendances. Yeah, but you can take both.
Can we take part in sports competitions, like volleyball, for example, or basketball?
Like for the students, we are actually organizing different tournaments, and you're free to come. So even if you don't take the course, but you see that actually we have the volleyball tournament coming up on 17th of February. So if you want, you can participate in it, even if you don't want to take the course nor the annual card. So it's for all students.
And where can we apply for the ISIC card?
From the student union, so you can't get the ISIC from the sports club. We only give out the white cards, as we call them, but from the ISIC cards you can get from the student union, so it's 20 meters straight from here.
If you went to a tour yesterday, maybe they showed you it's before you turn to the office to ESN, you will see the student unit on the left side over here. Okay, one more question about the attendance hours. Is it possible to stay for 120 minutes and receive 2 attendances?
We're gonna count 1 attendance per day, because we don't want the situation where at the end of the semester student is missing, I don't know, let's say 20 attendances, and then he or she is gonna stay there for 8 in the morning until 4 in the evening to get 4 attendances. So that's why we have put a 1 time limit per day, but of course if you want you can train there even 3 hours in a row.
And do we have an overview of those classes somewhere on PDF? But you asked, but it's in the study information system.
Yeah. So if you go to TalTech homepage, find out the course, then you can see the timetable. When you go to TalTech Sport Facebook page, then you will find the timetable. When you enroll yourself the Moodle, then on the top of the page will be the link to the timetable. But overall, all sports start at 8, 10, 12, and 2. From the 31st of January, and next week all sports either 10 or 12.
Yep, that's it for now. Thank you very much for your presentation and answers.
So thank you again, and come and train with us. Yep.
Okay, there were a few more questions about possibilities besides sports and choir and theater. Yes, we have a choir and a theater. There are different clubs available in the university. You can walk down the hall to the student, where the student cafe is located, and you will see the list of those clubs also on the wall, and you can see it also on the website under student. You will find there all different student organizations that you can join besides sports. There was also a question about the Uni ID. Yes, if you have an issue, writing to the help desk at taltec.ee is the right thing to do, and probably they will figure it out and sort it with you. All right. Next, we will have overview of the library services. Anna-Liina, please.
Yep, hello. I'm Anna-Liina, and I'm a subject librarian at the library here. So I'll be talking about the services we offer. And I would please say that please pay attention, or at least note down the library homepage address and a few emails. I myself studied abroad and do find that stuff like this differs from university to university. So everything might not be that intuitive. But yeah, given the current times, I'll first be going over the online resources part and the remote services we offer, then in hopes that you will come and visit us. We're not a far walk from here. I'll go over that part, and then finally a few useful things if you want more in-depth help. So this is our homepage. I'll note that, yeah, there's the EN in front of the library. From the TalTech main page, and basically everything I'm going to be talking about today can be found there, but maybe not always in the easiest to find way. It's a work in progress. But basically, a lot of the quick links and everything, if you just keep on scrolling, it's quite long, but you'll find stuff there, or then just use the tabs that I've got one of them open where you can register as a user, for example. So basically, all of you are going to need is access to resources. So we have the library search portal. So here you can search for both physical and online resources that we have. And so the actual URL for the place is sadly quite long. So the shortened URL is unfortunately in Estonian, but come to our library homepage, you'll find the link. It's Primo is the name. You'll find it listed under there, or just written as library search portal. So that will be the place where you can find, there's advanced search, you can, everything. And if you need help with searching, I'll get to who to turn towards, where to write, and so on. So if this is where you can find all of the texts, I'll have to note that full access to texts is only with university Wi-Fi or by using remote access. So that's EduVPN. That's where you can find the clients loaded. Also on the library homepage, you can find the guide to install this. To log into the EduVPN, you need to use your Uni ID. And I'll note, while the majority of texts and databases are you're just within our network, and they'll open on their homepage, everything's fine. There is a handful of them, for example, SciFinder for chemists and stuff, where you need to create an account, register somehow else, usually with your Taltec university address. So for everything like that, on our homepage, there's a databases tab, and the first thing, all databases. Anything that has like an exception on our all databases page, you'll find the instructions on how to register there. Or you can always email us, and I'll get to the email in a bit. So if you need physical books, however, and you can't come in during our opening times, or it's for other reasons not possible, then we have two services for you. One of them is the book locker that you'll find just in front of our building, next to the main entrance. And it looks grey like that. And to order from there, you need to either fill in the web form or either email the service email that's listed here. The book locker is accessible 24/7, and you need to pick up the books within 3 days from there. If you can't come to the library and you need to get it closer to you to a parcel locker, then we have partnered with DPD and they'll deliver it to your closest DPD parcel locker. However, of note, this is a paid service, so it's €4 per parcel to you, and you will need to organize the return of the book to us, otherwise there will be fines. So you'll either need to come and return it to us yourself or pay for the return fees. And these are both for registered library members, and I'll note how to register as well later. Though I'll say you're always welcome to visit our library and use the databases without actually registering as a library user. Registering as a user is necessary if you want physical books and a few other things. So if you wondered what's that big black building on the corner that has some circles on it, that's us, that's the library. It was built in 2009 and won some awards for the design. Those are tree rings, and if you come inside of the library, you'll see a lot of green. It's very tree inspired. The opening hours, we're not open on Sundays. However, if you wish to come and study, we have a 24 study room on the first floor that is always open. But I will note that it is required to have a TalTec ISIC card to get into the room at any time, and at night when the library and the buildings are closed, also to physically get into the building to get into that room. So just before the big stairs that take you to the second floor and the actual library, it's on the left-hand side. So additionally, on the first floor, amongst other stuff, on the right-hand side of the main entrance, you'll find a self-check-in machine, which you're welcome to use at any time, including at night. We do recommend that you come in to the second floor and return any books you have to the service desk if we are open, just because the machine, for example, if you manage to accidentally take your friend's textbook back, the machine won't tell you whose textbook you've checked in, if you have fines, anything like that. So our librarians will always help you solve any issues you might have, so it's always better to come in if you can. So yeah, on the second floor, after you come into the library proper, you'll find the service center and also the help desk. And there we have a dedicated computer class just off to the right as well, after the main entrance. Then on the third floor, we have, starting from there, we have individual and group study rooms. So I'll note that textbooks, we have a textbook collection that only our university students can loan from, so only TalTech students. There are perks to that, and I'll get to that in a bit. I'll say it's on the third floor, regardless of subject, and if you can, please loan out a book from there, just because OpenStack is also available to everyone who's our member, and also there's other perks. So if you just go up the stairs, turn to the right, we have a giant sign there saying that's where the textbooks are, because sometimes people get confused. The fourth floor is where you can go to if you definitely want quiet. In general, we ask people to not play music or talk loudly in the library regardless, but fourth floor is where it's supposed to be quiet. And then the fifth floor only has some group study rooms and more collections. So, as I mentioned previously, you can come in, you can sit. That's all fine with us. You do not need to show a card or anything to get into the library itself. However, if you want to loan books, there's two options. You can apply for the library card at the service desk on the second floor, and that will cost you €2. If you have an Estonian ID card or a temporary residence permit card, however, you can register that as your library card for free at any of the service desks from second to fourth floor, or you can do it by yourself online using the PIN codes and anything. And when you come in, especially if you come in to register with us at the service desk, please go on UIS, or the Student Information System, and look up your student code beforehand, because for us to register you as one of our university student readers, we need to have that code. Otherwise, you'll not get the perks of being a student here at our library. And now, if you are registered, then there is this, it's a catalog, you can look up physical books here as well, but because we have another portal for that, I recommend you look there first. Anyway, what the perks of here is, if you look on the very, very top edge over there, you'll find the login place, and if you log in on Ester with your account, you can check and renew loans. So you don't need to call us or come into the library or email us, though you can do all of those as well to renew loans. You can also just do it yourself here. I will say this website, there are many libraries all over Estonia that are part of this. So when you log in, you'll be greeted with like a list of different names. You'll just need to find up, and I'm pretty sure I looked it up, we should be under Tallinn University of Technology, not TalTech. So just make sure, there's a lot of Tallinn happening there. It's mainly Tallinn and Tartu libraries. So there's a lot of like libraries starting with the T in that. But whether you search here or you search on Prima, which I suggest, if you want to check out or look up a physical book, you'll be landed on a page like this. And on this page, you can find which floor it is on, the call number that's on the front cover, not on the spine of the book. And then there's this little blue icon that will also tell you the exact shelf and show you like a floor plan of that floor of the library. The shelf will be in red. And probably most importantly, it will tell you the status. Is it available for library use only? Is it loaned out? Is it in storage? Well, storage will show a location, anything like that. So good to check before you even come in, because sometimes if it's already loaned out, I'm afraid all we can do is put you in the queue. Then for borrowing a physical book, you can come to any service desk, and there's also self-checkouts on second and third floors. OpenStack books, unless they're for library in use only, everyone can loan. Textbooks, as I've said previously, for our students only. And if a book is in storage, you'll need to fill out a call slip and take it to the service desk, and the librarian will get the book for you within like 5 to 15 minutes. So it's not like we have to ship them in from somewhere, they'll just go and get it for you. And you can loan out up to 25 items at any one time. So for loan periods, generally it's 30 days, with yellow and blue stickers indicating shorter loan periods. The one to look out for is red stickers. Those indicate for in library use only books. Also, all journals are in library use only. And as I said, one of the perks of getting to loan stuff from the textbook collection is you can loan them out for 90 days. So that should be. And once again, please renew your loans or return them. You do not want fines. Heard people who have forgotten to return books for like a year, and it's not really the nicest to have to come and pay that. For computers, we have a dedicated computer lab on the second floor, as I mentioned. There's also computer workplaces amongst the shelving on every floor. You can obviously log in with your Uni ID. If for whatever reason you can't, there's also usernames and passwords on the left upper corner of every keyboard. And if you need something quick, like to look up, to reserve a study room, to register as a user, whatever, there's information kiosks for that. So we have 6 group study rooms in total, and they're reservable online with no charge for that. And for individual study rooms, the same applies to 8 of them, where we have 14 that are walk-ins, so if it's free, you can come and sit there. And then we have 4 rooms where you can pay to get a key for a certain amount of time, and then you can just lock it when you leave, so you can leave your stuff there, whatever, and feel secure about that. Also, I think you can book them up to a week, at least a week is possible. So if you want to really know you have that room for a week, you can come and get that key. Though you won't be able to stay there overnight, we'll still make sure you get out of there by the time the library closes. And also say the study rooms are very popular during exam times, so book in advance. It's possible to book rooms 2 weeks in advance. If you need to take a call or something and you're out on the floor, then please use the soundproof phone booths. We have on every floor, so for quick calls up to 15 minutes. For printing and copying, we have the service Print in City, and you can create an account on their website. There's multiple ways to identify yourself at the printers. I'll note it only allows PDF files to be printed, so please make sure you have exported or converted to PDF files, otherwise you'll need to do that. It just won't allow you to print otherwise. And you'll need to choose TalTech as a print point. Once again, this is a wider service. There's other print points all over the country as well where you can use the service. And if you just need something quick and you haven't set this up and you really need something printed, we do have a printing company who's renting one of our rooms on the first floor. So if they're open and their opening times are regular shorter opening times, you can just go in there and pay cash or use a card and get something quick printed out if it's urgent. Otherwise, this is probably, so yeah. For scanning, we have 3 scanners on every floor, and on the 4th floor, we have a general loan point where you can borrow scanners, but also all sorts of other computer accessories. So just go to the service desk there. They can only be used within the library, and you'll need to return them by the end of the day, but if you're in a pinch, that's definitely helpful. I think we also have phone chargers, but not laptop chargers. And finally, another slide to probably take a picture of. The information consultants, so the help desk I mentioned, you'll find an information consultant there. If you just continue the service desk, it kind of turns and we'll be sitting there. Or email us at info@libtaltec.ee. And so that's anything, if you can't find, well, if you can't find a book, you're also welcome to go to the service desk, but anything about like databases and stuff can be found there. And also, as one of the subject librarians, what we also offer to you is consultations, so one-on-one stuff. There's also workshops we organize for like how to cite stuff, using reference managers and so on. And also on Wednesdays, we have drop-in sessions every Wednesday at 3 o'clock. So if you're around, you have a question, there's no need to register. We do recommend you take your own laptop there, and you can just come and ask us for any questions you might have then. But that's it for me, and I hope I'll see you at the library, but great time studying here for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a few questions for you. What is the proportion of books in English in the library? It's quite
I'm not sure about the books. We have an interesting shelving system, I'll say about that. When you go to look up a topic, you'll find first books in Estonian, then there's books in English, and then there's other languages in Russian and stuff. So all of the books for a topic in English will be grouped together on the shelves. Off the top of my head, I can't give you like a number. I think that's what they wanted. I will say the online databases, the majority of our collection, if you can somehow quantify that, and given the fact that we are doing you're studying at the TalTech, Technological University, the majority of the databases, vast majority are all in English. There are a few Estonian ones there, but if it's scientific research, it's going to probably be in English. And I think from what I've had, like orders and stuff, the lecturers often, for their own research purposes, they'll be getting English books as well. So they'll hopefully be resources available for you. If not, you can always turn towards your lecturers and ask if there's anything, but that's probably more useful, more for people who are doing like their master's projects and general projects who need specific literature, which is what part of what I, as a subject librarian, for example, provide towards. Yeah.
Where can we reserve a study room?
So study rooms, there is a link on our website, once again, and it's specific interface. You need to log in with your, that's for library users generally. So whatever you've logged in, Uni Id should also, I think, work. Not that I haven't used it myself personally, sadly. But if you're stuck, you can come to us and we'll help you reserve that stuff. But just library homepage, there's a link to reserve rooms, and there's all sorts of other information about that. That's probably the place you should go and look.
Back to the question of printers, how can we pay for it?
So one of the ways that's listed is PayPal. I think it also accepts Estonian cards, but I'm not 100% certain about that. But PayPal is definitely an option, and yeah.
And possibly debit cards also, if... I know.
I registered as a user, but I've not had anything. You'll have to look. It'll definitely list the different ways, but I would presume, given it's an Estonian service, that if you have an Estonian, a card at an Estonian bank, you probably, but I'm not going to promise anything, sorry. Right. I'm quite a new worker here. So.
Okay. All right, that's it to the library topic. Yeah. Thank you very much. All right. There is a question about the discount on Ryanair with an ESN card. Every year there are different kind of deals that ESN has, so you need to ask the ESN office itself, and they will tell you what kind of discounts the card itself can give you. About the learning agreement, this can be probably asked from Kerti later after the presentations. All right, and now we'll move to the counseling services for students. I would like to invite here Monika Sutrop and Kadri Kiskman together, or maybe one by one.
Hello, how are you? Good? Welcome to Estonia. I'm Monika and I represent the counseling office, which we have on 4th building. Who has seen counseling office? Some hands already? No. Yes, there was one. Well, counseling office is for the students. And if you have any questions, we have student counselors there to start to help you. So this is for the university and for the students, like the first place where you can always turn to. I'm going to talk about it, and I'm the career counselor, and we have a psychologist also coming to talk about a little bit what she's doing and how is she here for you. So we have 4 student counselors who are always, not always there, but from 10 till 4 o'clock they are there. And whatever questions you have from how to use the study information system, or you don't find something in our city or in the campus. So this is the first place where you always can go to whatever. Then they can also forward you wherever you need to go. And all the practical questions are very welcome. So this is like step in. If they are there and it's the opening time, you can always go. We also have counselings, different kind of counselings. You have to book them before you go. So career counseling, and I'm doing that. Psychological counseling, Kadri will be talking to you also after me. And then we have also counselor for special needs. So if anything, you can always contact us. Here is our counseling office picture. So if you go the big corridor, have you already seen the big corridor in one part of our university where all the buildings are? So on that corridor, on the 4th building, there is the counseling office. So if anything, feel free to come. We also have a Facebook where we post some information and also some internship offers. You are very welcome to join. And you can find us always in the student web, which is where all the information about your things here is located. So career counseling, that's me on the picture. That's my email also. And you can write. I do Skype counselings also when you don't want to, or MS Team counselings, or if you want to come, then we have a room where we can meet and talk about your career options or the job market or whatever kind of questions you have. And I really appreciate for you to email me first, because I might have another counseling when you step in, and this is much better. So what can I help you with? Career choices and career plans, how this does fit, this Estonian experience fit in your bigger picture career path, making self-analysis, applying for a job, CV and cover letter, or preparing for the job interview. This kind of questions, you're welcome. We can talk about it and see how, or we can make your plans more clear or your CV more better, whatever you wish to address. We also organize career seminars in February and March, and I will also forward this information to you. So either how to search a job, or a little bit blurry here, my slide, but finding a job as a student or how to start business in Estonia. So different topics, also related how to manage stress. So 1 hour and a half, usually at 4 o'clock. We start and you get the information via email, so you can join if you would like. Some of the seminars are here, some of them are via MS Teams, and some are mixed, so it depends on a different seminar. And you are always welcome. You have to register, but that's info there if you get the email. So we have also career email list where we post internship offers and job offers, or career events, career seminars. So if you want to join, then on our website there is a place where you can enter. You will be getting the slides also, yes, so you can find the place, exact place from the slides. But if you go on our big web page, there is also counseling office, and under there is all the information. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about the Estonian job market also. You are Erasmus students, but has anybody got an idea that maybe when I'm here I will find an internship or some job after schools? Has anybody thought about it? Raise hand if somebody has. Okay, some people. When I asked with the degree students, almost everybody went up. So yes, so if you need some help, you can book a meeting. And here I'm going to talk a little bit about our job market. So unemployment is 6.8%, which is not very bad. It used to be, before the crisis, it was like 4.4. Now it's a little bit bigger, but last year it was like 8 something. So it's quite okay. And the average wage is 1,563, and minimum wage is 600 plus. So these are like the markers. At the moment, there are more jobs in technical areas where you need more technical competences. But there are also different kind of jobs going around, so it's not as bad as 1 or 2 years ago. It's getting better and better again, and in some areas there are less people and more places, like for IT and those kind of places, but most of the jobs find their people. Okay, a little bit about the business culture. Estonians are quite formal. So they might get across a little bit cold, but we warm up when we communicate more. So from some of you from more southern cultures, it might be like, okay, don't they like us, or what should I do? But it's just the way we are. But well, not me, because I like to talk with my hands. I'm from Latin America, actually. No, I was just exchanged there. But typically we are more reserved, so, and it gets sometimes. And also in a business culture, we value hard work, very details, deadlines, accurate things, punctuality, timing is very important, experiences. What I mean by that is when you do your CV, for example, it's like the experiences that you already have, either in a job market or in a volunteer base or in student organizations, they are very much valued. So not only the education part, but the experiences that you have on a job market or in other places, like this practical experience is very important. And also if you say something that, for example, I'm good in group work, I'm good in teamwork or leadership, then you kind of have to put the experience behind it. So how come that you are good at teamwork? So you have to kind of explain where did you get the experience. So this is what I mean, that we value experience. So everything that you say, you have to kind of back it up with an experience. it's a good way to go. So modesty, from some, this American style CVs and cover letters, for example, don't go very well with Estonian culture. For example, I'm very good, I'm excellent, and those kind of superlatives don't work here very well. So be modest and say what you have, what kind of experiences you have, what kind of talents or other things you have. So keeping to promise is very highly evaluated. If you promise something, then you have to do it. If you don't have time, or if you don't have capacity, then you might as well talk about it. So keeping to promise is very, very important. Estonian work culture is not very hierarchical, so we are more like you can talk about these things. And smart casual is usually where to go. Of course, there are more formal institutions, and there are institutions that are not so formal, but the smart casual, you cannot go wrong. So here I put the job search process also here. I won't get into the detail, but it's good to analyze yourself first when you are and prepare your CV and cover letter before starting that process and collecting the evidence and potential employers and vacancies. We have you have kind of like formal and informal sources, and 50% of the job offers, they go through acquaintances. So use your time here to meet people and to make connections, either in events or either in student organizations. These connections that you have during the student times, these are very valuable. And then you send your application and CV, and usually it's the email that you get, and then you go to the job interview. Again, the business culture says to you what to do also in a job interview, what is the frame of it. But if you want to know more detailed, in our webpage there is also this job search process video seminar, which you can look, and there is more in detail about the process, and also you can join our seminars to have more information. So here, what is the kind of like the most popular questions, what the students, especially foreign students, have when they come to counseling is like how to find those potential employers. So there is a passive, active and proactive search. I a little bit talked about that, that the connections matter. So be proactive. The passive one is like you kind of like wait that somebody will find you, but it might not work. So you better make more options for yourself and be proactive. So be in LinkedIn, be in different kind of student organizations, talk to people. There is a very active startup scene and some startup events. Go to events. There is like this international houses that do special events for foreigners. Go there. So the connections and talking to people about the opportunities is very important. Of course, you can go to cva.ee and CV Keskus, which are the main portals, but mouth-to-mouth information is very valuable, and make yourself visible. Okay, and now I ask our psychologist also to come up and talk about what she can do for you.
Hello and welcome. Good to see you here. I hope you did not have too much trouble getting here, considering the circumstances. My name is Kadri. I'm a psychologist, and I work mostly with international students and staff members of TalTech here. We want you to have a fulfilling, meaningful, enjoyable experience here regarding studying, but also regarding meeting new people, getting to know Estonian culture, other cultures too, since you're gonna probably interact with each other a lot. And university wants to support you on this journey. So while studying abroad can be very exciting, enriching experience, and it definitely is, it can bring along some extra challenges. Studying in itself, it's making an effort, at least for most people. So when you start with your classes here, you might find that, the professors have different teaching styles, that they communicate differently. You may be wondering, like, how do I reach out? How do I communicate with the professor? Also, level of knowledge in the classroom. You may feel that you're bored because you already know all this, or the contrary, that you don't understand anything what's going on and you're too afraid to ask because what others might think. Well, that can happen in any classroom, in any place, but especially when you study abroad. Expectations, both of your professors, but also your own. Like, is it, when you come here, is it, and when you get familiarized a little bit what's going on here, like, is it what you expected? Is it something different, something positive, or something that you are not so satisfied with? Of course, different culture. It depends on where you're coming from. Like, is it more similar, familiar, what we have here, or is it completely different, something completely new? Also, it depends, have you traveled before? How much have you traveled before? Of course, the norms, habits, how Estonians are like, how to interact with Estonians, how to meet Estonians. Like, is it possible at all? So, I would encourage you to make an effort at least, because when Estonians sometimes maybe they look like they don't want to meet anybody. They do. It's just that it's hard for them to make the first step. So if you are more at ease with making new connections, so don't hesitate to notice the ones that, maybe seem a little bit introverted or keeping themselves for themselves. Oftentimes they would appreciate a lot. So physical environment as well. We have this nice white weather outside, but it can change. And it will change as days go by. So. And different social situation. You're away from your usual circle of friends, family. Here you kind of start from zero. You start creating your social circle and connections. Yes, and communication. Like, you're probably very good at speaking English, but when you, for example, find yourself in a group where most of the group is speaking Estonian, and you find a little bit left out. So that can be a challenge at times, yeah. And so you end up meeting isolated when you see that it's not so easy making the connections, or maybe you don't find the people that you connect with so well that you match. Yeah, so this is something that can happen. Very common issues that everybody experiences at times, yes. I mean, it is normal to feel sad, down, anxious, worried at times. This is very normal, yes. But sometimes it can happen that, these feelings of depression, anxiety, lack of motivation, all these difficult feelings, they are growing to the extent that they start holding you back from doing the things that you want to do, moving to the direction you want to move towards to, being the kind of person you want to be. So that is the time that that you have to consider paying some extra attention to it. Yeah. Just some very common things. Yeah, lack of motivation, for example, motivation of studying, motivation of doing anything. Yeah. Yeah, focusing, concentration. I mentioned already anxiety, sadness, depression. Also unexpected life events and uncertainty. Today we do have a lot of uncertainty here. Yes, and choices, what to do next. Okay, you chose to come here for at least half a year. So what next? What do I want in life in general? Or even some small choices. Yeah, relationships, I mean, this is concerning all of us as well. Yeah, and some physical issues like lack of sleep, yeah, or some tensions. Yeah. So if you feel that, okay, that I don't want to, I mean, I can handle it on my own, but I don't want to anymore, so I want to pay some more attention to it, then what to do? Recognize that you're not the only one. There are very, very many people who experience similar things. It's pretty common. Remain active. Yes. In current times, yes, maybe not all the opportunities are not so readily available, but something is still available. Finding pleasurable activities, even small things, reaching out to people, even if you don't feel like to, even if you would prefer to stay home, stay in bed. Just make that little effort of reaching out to friends, family members. Yeah. Yeah, don't forget the basic needs. Sometimes when we're stressed, we neglect taking care of our health, like eating well, sleeping enough, moving. We can have, these times we can have many excuses not to move. Yeah, the weather is such and such, and then we are advised to not to move around too much, but there are always some way. Yeah. Yeah, and then be kind to yourself as well. When things don't go well, we want to blame somebody. It's either somebody else or ourselves. So instead of doing that, maybe you could approach this with some kindness and some steps that can more likely bring you positive results. So. And if you see that this experience, this is not what you were looking for, give this another chance. Maybe if you try something else, you reach out, you are active, you're looking for new chances, maybe you can still find something that when you go home or back to your original university, you could say that this was a valuable experience for me that I had here. And really, you don't have to do this on your own when you find yourself struggling. You can all, please, yes, use all the support universities is offering. So I'm just going back to this initial slide. Also, talking to a psychologist is an option. So to make an appointment with me, you just have to send me an email, and we can see a time that suits us both. It's of course confidential. Everything stays between us that we talk about. We can meet in the building or online, either Skype or Teams, and it's free of charge for you. So this is it from me. I wish you best of luck and enjoy. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for those presentations. And our official part is over. Now the fun part starts. The next we have campus game, and afterwards we'll have a closing of the event as such of all these 2 days, which was, I hope, very informative. And we'll expect you for the picnic at around 2:30. Starting, let's say, over, even from the schedule, as you can see, it's written 2:20. And the picnic / lunch will take place in the student house that is just down the corridor over here. So maybe, again, yesterday when you went to see the ESN office, so instead of turning to the right side, you will continue straight and you will reach the student house, and there we'll have a picnic, and hope to see you there. And now a few words about campus game, and afterwards, yeah, you can continue with it.
Hello, everyone. So for the campus game, we have prepared with the ESN Taltec IC a campus game for you. And I need first 9 volunteers, or I start picking. Trust me, it's easy, not many tasks. I want to see hands. Yeah, perfect. Can you go outside? Start going outside, go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Sorry. So please take your belongings because we're kind of leaving. But I need